What's up? It's Ryan and welcome back to the show. Today's topic is reading books. Seriously, we're going to talk about reading books. It is part of 75 Hard. You have to read 10 pages of a nonfiction book that is really meant to better your life every day for 75 days. And then when you continue on in the Live Hard program, you continue to read more books. In the last 75 days, I've read about a book a week, which is insane because I used to hate reading books. It was a school chore. It is what I did not ever want to do in my life. And as soon as I got done 12th grade, I said, I'm not reading any more books. I went through college and I just skipped the entire book reading process. That's why I didn't do well. It wasn't that I thought reading wasn't cool. It was just something I really did not like to do because I mostly had to read things I did not like to read. It took me forever to realize this. I just would listen to audiobooks. There was a period in my life where I drove all around the country and I would listen to audiobooks and I would knock out a ton of books. But the problem is you're driving and then you're like, oh, storm and oh, cool car. And it's like, oh, wait, where was I in this book? You know what I mean? So even with listening to books, it was still a bit of a challenge to retain the information. And I kind of fell off the Audible train a little bit. If a new book came out, I'd listen to it, but I stopped. And then 75 Hard came along. And the first time I did 75 Hard, I knocked it out straight through 75 days, no problem, except for one that I figured out on like day 77, right? 2 days after. I was like, well, I'm about to do the Live Hard program. I want to listen to what has to happen in phase 1. So then I listened to Andy Frisella and his podcast, and man, he was just dumping on people, and specifically me. He was talking directly to me in his podcast. He didn't say my name, but he was talking to me, and he said, do not listen to audiobooks. It's supposed to be hard. And then he talked about how bad of a reader he is, and everything he said is what I deal with too. So then in day 77, what do I realize? I failed. I failed all 75 days. All 75 days that I struggled, all 75 days that I walked in the rain, that I walked in the cold, that I walked on vacation in Disney World, that I didn't eat super awesome treats in Disney World, that I shouldn't have been eating anyway. And that is one thing that made me realize in failure, there is success. It took me not eating sweet treats in Disney World to figure that out. So what did I do? I reset back to day 1 and started all over again because there is no way I'm going to look at myself in the mirror and lie to myself and be like, nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows I didn't read a book. No. I know I didn't read a book. And I know looking in the mirror, I'm a liar. So we start 75 Hard all over again. I got to come up with a good system. I've talked about systems in the past. Our body's physiology creates systems to make life easier. Our brain wants to make life easier. The things we do every day, we just want to make them easier. So what was my 75 Hard system to make reading easier? Well, I broke it down. You got to look at the rules of the game. Always look at the rules. Then I said I have to read 10 pages a day of nonfiction. That's the rules. It's supposed to better yourself, right? So I do enjoy those books. I enjoyed listening to those books. I consumed a ton of YouTube content previously about stuff like this. But I'm like, okay, let's see if I can take all that energy and all that YouTube time or Audible time and concise it into reading a book. That's where I'm going to get my information. So I started blocking out a lot of the other places to get information. I said, I'm going to get it from a book. Now, what is the stuff I like to watch? I like to watch business-related things, specifically marketing-related things, and construction, specifically home remodeling and home building-related things. Those are the 2 things I do almost every day. In reverse order, figure that. So I went to Amazon, and I typed in, how to make money in the construction business. And this book came up. And by this book, I mean a book very similar to this because it was so good that I have it in my office and we're using it right now. It's called Profit First for Contractors by Shawn Van Dyke. Shawn Van Dyke led me on this like book spree of almost every book I'm about to show you here, okay? So, this is Profit First by Mike Michaelowicz. He started this whole Profit First system, and then there is one for every one of your businesses. So if you're in any kind of business, even if you're not the boss or you don't take care of the money, you don't own the company, but you want to know like how the inner workings of your industry should work, there's probably a Profit First for you. I got Profit First for Contractors, and it was a great book. Highly recommended. Then I got into marketing. There is a guy named Alex Hormozi, and everybody should know who he is by now. If you don't, get on it. Alex is amazing. $100 million offers, amazing book. What did I learn in this? Guarantees, levers. Alex Hormozi has made more money than I could even count if a computer did it for me. I also read his other book called Gym Launch Secrets. I have no plans on starting a gym, but man, that had so much great information on how he launched his gym and the systems he used to do so. By the way, these aren't all of the books I read. These are some of the books I've read. Some of the key books I read, because these are all different aspects of things I like to enjoy. So I want you to go think about the things you like to enjoy. And if you read books by authors that tell you to read other books from other authors that they don't even make money from, that's a good book probably. This was recommended by a buddy. Everything you need to know about fat loss. I figured if I'm doing 75 hard, I better figure out the best ways to lose fat, because that's what I was in it for. I was in it to get as lean as possible. Highly recommend this book. If you are unsure about how to lose fat, or you've tried a bunch of different things and they don't work, go back to the basics with this book. Great book. Another awesome book I think anybody would want to read if you're interested in bettering yourself and you want to make some dough, you want to become a millionaire. What self-made millionaires do that most people don't. 52 Ways to Create Your Own Success by Anne-Marie Sabath. And I will tell you what, this book, I read it over my 40th birthday weekend. It's got 222 pages to the very end in it. And I will tell you what, I read every single one of these pages. It's an absolutely amazing book. Short little stories about key things that millionaires, multimillionaires have done in their lives that a lot of people don't think about. And some of the stuff you knew about, but you didn't realize you know. Those are my favorite things. The stuff you know about that you didn't realize you know. The Carnivore Code by Dr. Paul Saladino. You can find him on Instagram, Carnivore MD 2.0. I'm going to tell you what, I run with about 90% of what he said in this book. Maybe more, maybe 95%. It's the main diet that I eat still, and it has solved a lot of my personal problems. And this book was written for folks that had worse issues than me. Just a lot of upset gut issues for myself personally. Meat, fruit, raw dairy, which I don't do raw dairy. It's hard to get around here. I eat minimal dairy, and I eat specific things that agree with me. It's almost like an elimination diet for life. But the idea is, it goes back to the way our ancestors used to eat. And this book has solved that problem for me. This book has solved the problem of eliminating all the crap you don't need. Meat, fruit, honey, dairy, eggs. He doesn't eat vegetables, and he goes in on this book about that. He says vegetables are trying to kill you. And I believe they are, because once I cut those veggies out, of veggies I love to eat, I felt so much better. And I hate to say it, because it's vegetables I enjoyed eating. I enjoy eating a huge salad. I like eating a lot of food. So when you can eat a big salad, but then it messes your gut up, ain't worth it. Check out that book. Two more books. Another one by Mike Michaelowicz. This guy is great. This one's called The Pumpkin Plan. This book is about how when you grow an award-winning pumpkin, you keep picking off all the bad pumpkins down the vine, and you keep letting all the nutrients and all the water and all the attention go to the best, strongest, prize-winning pumpkin. I just licked my lips because I said pumpkin and I got hungry. Seriously though, you need to do that within your business, within your personal life. The Pumpkin Plan. Awesome book. And finally, this one was one of my favorite books I've read so far. It's A Jungle in There by Steven Schussler. This guy created Rainforest Café. He created T-Rex Café in Disney World. He created the Boathouse, which is the most popular, my favorite restaurant in Disney Springs. And he also created Yak and Yeti, which is in Animal Kingdom. I'm a huge Disney fan. And that food is so good. And this guy had gonads. He took chances. He did crazy things that like super inspired me to be like, stop being a little bitch. Go do some more stuff. This is an amazing read if you're a Disney fan, if you're a restaurant fan, or if you're a fan of just reading how people took risks and it paid off. This guy has made the dough by taking the risks, and I love this book. If you look back at my last videos and you watch this video, my energy is so much higher, and I can't believe it because I thought it was gonna be about diet or fitness or something motivational, and here I am hyped about the books that I read, and I think you should be too, because when you line yourself up with the books you wanna read, game over. Just keep taking them in, reread them. Something else I do, awesome pro tip for reading books: buy the book and then download the audiobook on Audible. Read it, Read 10 pages, read a chapter, read half the book, read whatever you want. Then get in the truck, get in the car, go for your walk, go do your chores, and listen to the book again. And you'll start retaining more information. You'll remember things. It has absolutely changed the way I read. And I do it with a lot of the bigger books too, because I really want to take this information in. So that's all I got for you today. I hope you like this style of edit. I tried making it quicker and more fun, but my energy is truly high because these books are awesome. I love books. You should too. It makes 75 hard great when you read books that you love. It makes life great when you read books that you love, and I think you should do it every day. So me and the gorilla are out of here. I hope you have a good one. What books do you like to read? What books should I read? Any recommendations? Make sure you holler at me. I appreciate you. I love you. Be good to yourself. I'll talk to you soon.